much. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, this meeting is in session. Deputy Mayor, would you like to read our land acknowledgement, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We respectfully acknowledge the City of Cornerbrook as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Perfect, thank you very much. Would someone like to move the approval of the agenda, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. Approval of minutes. Would someone like to move the approval of the minutes from May 26th?
So approved.
Thank you. Seconder?
Seconded.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Carried. Business. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Just a quick observation.
Yeah.
Still seeing a lot of piles of garbage around. I just was dealing with the cow.
Oh, yeah,
minute
yeah.
on
Yep.
the last of I guess the update we had on the garbage collection.
Okay.
I'm still seeing some piles of garbage around some places in Cornerbrook on front lawn. So what's our plan, or do we have a plan, or is there a plan to
Okay.
deal with that?
Mr. Burden.
So, yeah, spring cleanup is now concluded on Friday. And we got to every household that had called in an appointment and quite a few more. So whatever's left out there now will not be picked up by the city.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. That clear enough? So I guess, Mr. Burden, are we going to contact those people, or how is it, we're going to?
Hopefully they're watching tonight.
Yeah.
Because we're not, we have no plans to go around and contact everyone who has garbage still out.
Okay.
There's some houses, some places got a lot of, a big pile up.
Shorter, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen it up the top of Country Road there, there's
Yeah.
one there. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Proclamations. So we have a bunch of things, a very busy month. The 25th to the 31st of May was declared Early Childhood Educators Week. So I was over to visit some ECEs. So years of research confirmed the benefits of high-quality early learning and childcare for young children's intellectual, emotional, social, and physical development. May 28th was declared Menstrual Health Day to raise awareness and change how the world perceives menstruation, striving to achieve menstrual equality by removing stigma and barriers to education access to period supplies in communities across Canada. May 30th was declared Provincial Francophone Day in Newfoundland and Labrador to honor the vibrant culture, the deep-rooted history, and the many contributions of Francophones throughout our province. June 6th was declared Hope Air Day, which is a national charity that provides access to health care by facilitating free flights and other travel supports for patients in financial need in Newfoundland and Labrador who must access specialty medical care far from home. June 8th was declared World Oceans Day for celebrating the critical role the oceans play in everyday life and encouraging actions to protect it. June was declared ALS Awareness Month. ALS in Newfoundland and Labrador is committed to providing support for ALS clients, their families, and caregivers while helping to find a cause of and a cure for ALS. And June was declared Pride Month. And Pride Month helps spread awareness and visibility of the 2S LGBTQIA community. So a very busy month from an events and proclamations perspective. Good to see. Thank you all for bringing that to our attention and coming and celebrating with us. So we have a bunch of business tonight. First off, we have the Margaret Bowater cleaning grant for Councillor Keeping. Deputy Mayor, you're going to declare conflict, right? Perfect. Okay, I don't think anyone opposes that. So Councillor Keeping, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Umber Valley Employment Corporation has been responsible for cleaning the Margaret Bowater Park building since its opening in 2011. The Umber Valley Employment Corporation is a community organization that collaborates with its partners to facilitate the inclusion of individuals with disabilities into the labor force. Maintaining cleanliness in the park is essential to ensuring an enjoyable experience for residents and visitors. Therefore, these services are an important part of Margaret Bowater Park operations. Be it resolved to approve the execution of the grant agreement with the Umber Valley Employment Corporation in the amount of $26,624, HST included, for cleaning services at Margaret Bowater Park. I so move.
Thank you very much.
Second, Mr. Mayor?
Seconder on that one, thank you. Questions on this? This is standard, we've been doing this for a number of years. Okay, let's all vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. You may come back, Deputy Mayor. Okay, now, moving right along, something completely different. Councillor Pender, we have an asphalt paving contract.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has requested bids to replace asphalt and do road repairs in various areas of the city, which require intensive repairs and new asphalt. There was an assessment completed by staff to determine a street rehabilitation program. Tenders for the asphalt paving program 25-07 closed on June 3rd, 2025, with one bid received from Marine Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $3,495,956.30, HST included. So the proposed resolution be resolved that the City of Corner Brook award the contract for the asphalt paving program 2025-07 to Marine Contractors, Inc. in the amount of $3,495,956.30, HST included. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that? Okay, pick the choice there, clerk. You gotta decide, you choose the winner in that race. Questions on this item? Do you have any questions?
I guess, Mr. Mayor, just the timeframes.
Yeah, Mr. Burton, how is this one gonna roll out this year?
My understanding is the contractor is ready to go. It was the same contractor was awarded our patching there a few weeks ago, and that's all complete. My understanding is paving of the second course of Mount Vernon will be done this weekend, and then they will start rolling out into our paving programs.
Okay. Good, yes, go ahead.
Where this year's cost compared to last year's?
Mr. Burton?
Yeah, it's a little bit higher. We're at $300 a ton of asphalt this year.
Wow.
Which is higher than last year. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was somewhere around 260 or something last year, so it definitely has increased.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions there? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Thank you very much. And Councillor Pender, related to that, the asphalt consulting fee.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the City of Corner Brook requires inspection services for the 2025 asphalt paving season. These services comprise of on-site inspections, reporting, and quality assurance of construction. This proposal covers the consulting services of All Rock Consulting Limited and their duties, rights, and obligations as related to asphalt inspection services. Be it resolved then that the City of Corner Brook Council award the consultant fee proposal for the asphalt paving 2025 inspection services to All Rock Consulting Limited in the amount of $101,039, HST included. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Yes, go ahead.
No, so when we're paving, they would have somebody there to make sure we get the pavement we're paying for, and it is put down properly and all that, like that?
Yep, that's correct. Mr. Burton, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So they would be there full time, and they also be grabbing samples at every 75 ton. They would be doing mixed properties, doing shoreline specification, and also doing compaction testing along the way to make sure that it's all within specifications.
Perfect. Yep.
Yes, Councillor Gill?
And the reason that we go with an outside consultant is,
Mr. Burton?
rather than do it ourselves, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have people, well, we may, but anyway, carry on.
This is very specific testing that requires very specific lab equipment. Nothing that we would have in-house just for our paving program. So yeah, it's not feasible for the space and the cost for the equipment and the calibration. It wouldn't be feasible for us to have in-house.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Okay, Councilor Grantor, we have the second step to our accessible transit. Change order to our existing contract. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, pleasure to do this one, for sure. City of Corner Brook has successfully acquired an accessible transit van to enhance transit services by offering a fully accessible transportation option for residents. Buckles Busing, the current operator of the city's transit system, has submitted a proposal to supply qualified personnel to operate the accessible van and integrate the services into the existing transit system. Be it resolved, Mr. Mayor, that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the change order 002 for contract 2022-22 in the amount of $99,825 plus HST. The Council of the City of Corner Brook authorize the city manager to sign contractual documents related to this change order. So move, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Second that one.
Seconder on that?
I'll probably second that one also.
Okay, thank you. Questions on this one? Yes, go ahead.
So, Mr. Mayor, this is just for the provision of the labor, correct?
Right.
The vehicle, the fuel, everything associated with that, the maintenance and so on is supplied by the city?
Yeah, Mr. Burton, what's the deal on the maintenance and fuel?
Fuel and maintenance will be completed in-house by the city.
Okay,
So this is just for labor?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
okay. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
What's the period, the time frame on that one? Is it for a year or
That's
Mr. Burton?
Yeah, that's an annual
is
cost.
it annual one?
Yeah. And they will also be, Buckles will also be, our contractor will also be responsible for taking all the calls and arranging all the rides as well.
And I guess with the vision, though, eventually, that we're going to integrate some kind of on-demand as well with that, some kind of software solution.
Yeah, this is just like phase 1.5 of a few phase projects. So eventually there will be a on-demand software and possibly, not to let the cat out of the bag, but possibly an on-demand system in parts of the city as well that this bus could be utilized for. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. And as well, Councilor Redmond, we have a change order for the Regional Recreation Center, the Marina Redmond Center, we should start calling it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This change order is required for the costs associated with correcting the non-compliance issues regarding the existing exit stairwell number 6, as per the direction from the City of Corner Brook's Development Inspector. This includes updating the guard handrail to be installed at 1,070 millimeters high at landings and on stairs with no openings greater than 4 inches and non-plungable. The major structural components, including the current stairs location, rise, run, and landings, can remain the same. Be it resolved that City of Corner Brook Council approve change order number 70 for Palmer Inc. for the Regional Recreation Center in the amount of $94,618.56, HST included. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Go ahead.
No question, but just, I'm all for bilingualism, but we're getting millimeters and inches in the same, documents, so can we have one or the other? I'm quite fine with both.
yep.
The engineers do everything in millimeters these days, so yeah, I don't even know what inches are.
But it's
Yeah.
there, it's a
But it is, yeah, greater than 4
Which is
inches.
100 millimeters. Yes.
Oh, well, okay, thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Why wasn't this included in the construction phase?
Mr.
of
Burton.
the center?
Yeah, this is very similar to the change order that came last week with the double door. This was in kind of in an existing memorial space, and we changed. It could have been grandfathered in until we got in there and started doing some construction, so that kind of released the grandfather. So we had to go in then and make it up to code, so because we would be utilizing that staircase.
Okay.
And the cost on that is,
96, 94?
I do believe this is the second last change order that will be coming to council for this project. There's one other, I think. Yeah, so we're getting very close to the end of the spending.
I guess something like renovating a house, once you don't know what needs to be done until you get in there and live in it and see it, right? I would think similar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. we're still pursuing, I guess, we're still not finalized on our final up and down on this, are we, Mr. Wright?
No, that'll be, right now, I think it's scheduled for November to actually try to hash out the actual settlement
Right.
between us and the contractor.
It can only get better from here, though, I guess, is the, what we're
That's absolutely the way I think as well.
good.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just,
Yes,
if I
go
may,
ahead.
Mr. Mayor, just, so we're replacing one handrail at $94,000.
Well, Mr. Burden, I don't know if you know specifics
seems
about
like-
the change,
Great.
but we do have, I know that, I mean, obviously, we are OA, and that would be looking at this too.
Yeah,
So
I know.
it's gotta be a valid cost, I guess.
Yeah, I believe this is, it's a 4-story, 3 or 4 stories of handrail that's being replaced.
Oh, okay.
And all the railings on each lane.
Oh, okay.
Okay, oh, see, there you go.
Perfect.
I read it wrong, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
No problem. Councillor Gill?
Mr. Mayor, this is nothing to do with anything, but while we're on the subject of the rec center, and maybe this has been brought up because I've been absent for a couple of meetings, but I've been hearing a lot about we're overcharging.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carry. Okay, Councillor Griffin, we have a couple discretionary uses here. The first one here is on 29 Greenings Hill, home-based business. Oh, sorry, I missed one already. Deputy Mayor,
You missed it.
I know, I'm getting worse at my job. 2025 lawn repairs, we have some information on how lawn repairs are gonna roll out.
This is the same almost every year, but we always go back and review it. As part of our commitment to maintaining the quality and aesthetics of the residential neighborhood, the city continues to address property disruptions caused during snow clearing, infrastructure maintenance, and service upgrades. Lawn damage remains a recurring concern, particularly following excavation or repair work. This season, the city will implement the following update process for residential lawn restoration. Preparation by the Public Works. Number 1, Public Works crew will begin by preparing affected lawn area with topsoil. This includes proper grading and leveling to ensure optimal seed adherence and growth. Hydroseeding by the contractor. A contractor has been engaged to perform hydroseeding once the areas are prepped. Hydroseeding is preferred for its efficiency and effective seed coverage. Residential engagement. A notice letter will be delivered to the affected residents at the time of restoration work. The letter outlines the completed work and provides clear instruction and tips for maintaining the hydroseeded area. Property owners are asked to take responsibility for watering and caring for the seeded lawn to ensure successful growth. This updated process aims to streamline lawn restoration while promoting residents' involvement in achieving long-term success. By combining city preparation work with hydroseeding and homeowner maintenance, we anticipate more consistent results and improved community satisfaction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions on that? It is a little different this year than we have done in the past. Yes, Deputy Mayor?
Can they do their own? Because that was what we offered, I guess, for a couple of years, that they could actually do their own.
That's
at
right.
certain cost.
Mr. Burden, is that still an option or not?
No, we did, I think since I've been here, we've tried every possible combination / scenario of lawn repairs. And we didn't get very much uptake at all on the do your own and we pay. So this year we're going to try something a little different. We've had contractors prep and hydro seed in the past. We've had contractors prep and sod in the past. And we think the prep is where the attention needs to be. So we're going to do that in-house this year so we know it's done right. And then we're going to try hydro seed. And mainly because the cost of sod has increased quite a bit. So we're going to try that this year.
Thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions there?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Mayor, yeah, that seems to be very good. How do residents actually contact, they just contact the city at the regular number and put in that they need repairs done to such and such a street and such and such a turn?
Yep.
Mr. Burton, when was that deadline for reporting? When is the deadline for getting email?
The deadline, I think, is passed.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah,
you know, it's the type of thing that if someone does call in while we're still at it, we will accommodate. So we started actually prepping this week. We're expecting about 3 weeks to have it all done. So right now, if there's anyone out there that needs it, you have, you know, a week or so to call in.
okay, so Mr. Burton is playing footloose with his own rules. And he's just created a rod to whip his own
Yes.
bottom. But he said it, you heard him say it. He's gonna take care of it if you can get it in.
We probably should have brought this forward earlier.
If not, you guys will get the calls, so I'm just trying to avoid it.
Mayor, I would like Mr. Burton to get the calls.
Okay, now let's hear it for the boy. Let's give the boy a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Any other questions? Okay, let's move on. Now, that one doesn't need to be approved, that's the way it is. But now it's time for discretionary use over on Greetings Hill. Councilor Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business office retail food safety auditor from a dwelling located at 29 Greenings Hill, which is located in a residential medium-density zone. A home-based business office is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook development regulations for this zone. It is proposed that the use is for a home-based business office only, and there will be no visitors to the property. A notice was delivered to the residents in the immediate area of 29 Greenings Hill, indicating the above-mentioned request. As a result of this notice, no submissions were received. The proposed resolution, Mr. Mayor, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 29 Greenings Hill in accordance with Regulation 11, Discretionary Powers of Authority. I so move.
Thank you very much.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Seconded. Okay, any questions on this one? Pretty straightforward. Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Contraminded? Carried. And over on West Avenue, a home-based business. Councilor Griffin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, the City of Corner Brook has received an application to operate a home-based business office, Bouncy Castle Rentals, from a dwelling located at 12 West Avenue, which is located in the downtown residential zone. A home-based business office is a discretionary use of the City of Corner Brook development regulations for this zone. It is proposed that the use is for a home-based business office only. There will be no visitors to the property. As a result of this notice, no submissions were received. However, one telephone call was received in which there was no objection. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business office from the dwelling located at 12 West Avenue in accordance with Regulation 11, Discretionary Powers of Authority. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions there? Again, pretty straightforward one.
Yes.
Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. Okay. Okay, Councilor Gill, we've got a City of Corner Brook Teenage Dance Hall Regulations repeal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In accordance with Section 39 of the City of Corner Brook Act, a notice of motion was made at a previous session of council at a committee of the whole meeting on May 26th, that at the regular meeting of June 9, a motion would be brought forward to repeal the existing City of Corner Brook Teenage Dance Hall regulations. Staff advertised the notice of motion via the city's website and social media and received one comment, which is attached to our documents, against the repeal of the regulations. No other comments or responses were received. The use of a teen dance hall would be considered a general assembly use, which is a permitted use in certain zones such as, quote, downtown commercial. The regulations, however, stipulate that anyone wishing to operate a teen dance hall would be required to apply for and subsequently receive a license to operate a teenage dance hall that would come with conditions stipulated in the regulations. The conditions of the licensing are onerous and address issues that the city may not have the ability to enforce. However, some of the stipulations of a licensing approval would be addressed under regular process for permit applications, including but not limited to compliance with building code, zoning, fire code, etc. In reviewing current city policies and bylaws, staff are recommending that this bylaw be repealed to streamline our regulatory framework and eliminate unnecessary redundancy. Therefore, be it resolved that pursuant to the powers vested in it by virtue of the City of Corner Brook Act 1990 and all other enabling powers, the Council of the City of Corner Brook hereby repeals the City of Corner Brook Teenage Dance Hall regulations. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? This is one that goes back a ways. Councillor Pender, you have
Just wondering what the
Yeah.
rationale for removing or rescinding this is. Do we have an application for a teenage dance hall somewhere, or why is this coming forward?
Mr. Bird, do we have
So I
any?
wasn't here for the name.
Yeah. Mr. Bird, do we have any, we don't have any current applications for that, do we?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. I know that there was a current application, I know council approved an arcade in Broadway recently, and this came up because after they received their occupancy, they advertised a teenage dance, and so it did cause a lot of confusion in that regard, so that's probably why.
So, Mr. Mayor, why are we doing this? What's the rationale behind it? Why is it coming forward?
Because it's, again, just, what's the purpose of it? Yeah?
No, because I remember when there's previous teenage dance halls, and I was just reading the comments from the one correspondence we received, and I can confirm that, when we had one on Heights, a lot of these were issues, plus, it wasn't within days of the teenage dance hall. I don't even think it was a dance hall, it was a teenage hall, dance hall, Pac-Man machine, it was all kinds of things. Within days, I guess we'll call them drug pushers or whatever, and back then when you couldn't have marijuana, other issues, alcohol in the streets, and a lot of residents were very upset. It wasn't just around where the dance hall was, it carried on throughout the years of the neighborhood, all hours of evening. And it was very disturbing, so that's why some of these rules were brought in, because when you have a large or any number of youth gathering in what is a place for them, which is fine, there has to be adequate supervision. And in my experience, for-profit organizations do not have the ability to supervise properly people coming into the youth or whatever in or around their establishment. And it does cause a lot of issues for neighborhood, both residents and businesses, whoever this might be in the future. So I wouldn't support this unless if somebody was coming forward with an application to consider how they would do it. Like if this was a not-for-profit or church group or
I think
school.
I think the regulation does allow for people to apply for this. I think it excludes it only on Broadway, I think, right now.
Well, I would just say my 30-plus years as a teacher, unless you have very good supervision, parental supervision, and so on, I would not condone repealing these measures.
Okay.
Just looking for trouble.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I just concur with Councillor on a lot of those points. Just to, in the background information says, staff are recommending that the bylaw be repealed to streamline our regulatory framework and eliminate unnecessary redundancy. So where is the other aspects of that would create the redundancy, the unnecessary redundancy in this bylaw? Is there something else, somewhere else, in other bylaws that address this or speak to this? So where's the redundancy? Because without going through what Councillor Fenner said, I have to concur as well after spending 30 years as an educator. and probably supervising more teenage dancers than anyone else in this room.
Oh, I'd argue on that
I know or Councillor Pender might,
Me too.
and Deputy Mayor might argue that, but, yeah.
Mr. Burden, I don't know, you can tell us about where the redundancy is there?
Well, yeah, in the current development regulations, it would be a permitted use under the General Assembly in a downtown commercial. So a lot of the issues that are in this bylaw in terms of the building code, the zoning, fire code, would all be stuff that we would inspect before a permit to occupy. So there is some redundancy between the bylaw and what we had the power to do within our regulations.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep, go ahead.
I mean, my reading into it is that this is just going to clean up some red tape, perhaps. Red tape is probably the wrong word, but some level of bureaucracy so that people can apply the same as they would apply for any other general assembly is what I'm understanding. Right?
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, any other ones, questions, comments? Yes, go ahead.
I guess
Deputy.
I sort of, I agree with the two councillors on this side of the table. And I know that you have to go through, a package of do's and don'ts and what is allowed and what isn't allowed. But how can the city, I'm trying to put this in a real good way, how can the city say how many supervisors we need to have at a teenage dance depending on, when we did teenage dances at school, we had a ratio, number of teachers to the number of
Yeah.
students that were coming. And that had to be followed very, very
Yeah.
stringently because, number one, we had fire regulations too that were often checked. But we also needed that person power to be there,
Yeah.
teacher power to be there to supervise. So as a city, can we say that if you're gonna have a teenage dance, there's 75, 80 teenagers in the building, how many supervisors do we need for that? And
Yeah.
how can we ensure that it would actually happen?
Yeah, and I think that the regulation does have a lot of details in it about that.
Yeah, I read through,
Yeah,
I read through the.
my only question would be about enforceability, I guess.
And that was
I
my
don't
next
know, so I don't know how I'm new to this, because I think, were you on council at the time when that was
Yes.
passed?
Yeah.
Were you, Councilor Pender?
No, the previous,
Oh, okay. No, because I wasn't aware of the circumstances when this came up before, but, yeah, the enforcement was the biggest thing I had, because I don't know, there was a lot of rules, there's like 76 sections or something in the rule, but I don't know how they're enforceable, and the fact that we did just approve an arcade that was gonna have live music and that kind of thing, it seemed, and I don't have any concerns with that establishment, like, they seem to be doing everything they're supposed to do with fire life safety.
Yeah.
But the rules seemed really specific, but totally unenforceable. And so I guess that was my concern about, I was just curious about how that would work, right? So I don't know if anyone has any other, I saw the comment, it was a good summary of why it was, yes, Councilor.
I was just gonna follow up on the Deputy Mayor's comments that when we had dances at school, we had a ratio of teachers, we had parents as well. But we also had the authority to deal with students that were not behaving themselves, or if there were issues, we could deal with it because we're in a position of authority to deal with it. When you're running a private establishment, you don't have that authority. You can kick somebody out,
Yeah.
but you can't do anything about them on the street. Whereas we could at a school, if they were outside on the parking lot or whatever, we still have authority. To a limited extent, but we still
Yeah.
have it, right?
So I'm wondering, to me, I just wonder if this is something that, again, to talk about the redundancy with their development regulations, why would we have, so subsequent to passing this bylaw, there was development regulations passed in 2012, which made dance halls a permitted use in the downtown. And then subsequent to that, I'm pretty sure, Mr. Burden, I don't know if you know whether or not in the new regulations, we even mention this at all. Is this something that should be included in our new regulations instead of through this bylaw, or is there another way to handle this?
My understanding, Mr. Mayor, is there's not much difference between our new and current. And the current would have been new when this bylaw was
Right,
produced.
right.
So I don't think there's much difference or significant difference in the two.
Yeah.
in the
We did,
two.
I know we did that, I checked after the last decision, because it seemed sort of absurd that we had an arcade as a discretionary use in the downtown, because you'd think if you were allowed to have anything in the downtown, it would be an arcade. And in the new regs, I understand that arcade is a permitted use, that places of amusement are a permitted use in the regs. So I guess, yeah, so the question is, I guess, is whether or not the regulation is still relevant in terms of enforceability and all those kind of things. Again, I can understand, and I see from the comment that was provided, great concern for the behavior that was happening at this particular, or in a previous establishment that was occurring around that same time.
In 2011.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting question. So, yeah. Yes.
I'm kind of reminded of the movie Footloose with this conversation that's going on here. Like, it's really, you know, like, I mean, we can't, we had the same conversation when we talked about letting the ATVs go around town.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be this, there's going to be that, the people are going to get hit, there's going to be accidents. And I don't think we should judge these, with all due respect of the educators across from me, I don't think we should be judging the kids of today with the way they acted back in the day, kind of thing. You know, I talked to my grandson, I say, you guys have school dance? I said, no. I mean, what a part of growing up a school dance was. And they don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what the rules are or why they don't have it. I would assume it's getting people to watch over it, that kind of thing, right? No, I understand that. But I think we should really, I think our kids today are a lot more on the go than I know when we were, because, you know, if it was a dance, there was a racket. Most of it was alcohol.
Speak for yourself.
I know. That's
right,
what I said in my day,
Counselor.
right? But no, I think anything, you know, we can let the youth show how responsible we are. I'm all for it.
Councilor Gill?
So I'm just looking at the license conditions here in the bylaw that we're looking at rescinding. So it says things like the licensee must comply with an approved crowd control plan, security plan, medical safety plan, floor plan, you know, at least one security guard for every 100 people, which I don't think is enough, but anyway. And this sort of thing, no smoking, no alcohol, blah, blah, blah. So are we saying that the stipulations under the General Assembly would cover off all the things that are under these license conditions? I guess what I'm curious about is if we were to do a cross-reference between what's being proposed to cover this and what this is, if we were to do a cross-check to make sure all the things are covered off.
This would definitely be more.
This would be more stringent.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we should err on the side of caution at all times.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
No, I was just thinking when Councilor Gill was speaking that that's the other thing, like, we don't know what we don't see here, I should say, what the General Assembly rules are
Yeah.
compared to this. And this is here for a reason. There's no school dancers for a very good reason, very few of them for a very good reason, because of the inability to control situations, and people just gave up voluntarily, because they are
Okay.
volunteers.
And is that the reason why, I guess, that we do see, like, fewer school dances now?
I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
And it's just like Footloose. It is just like Footloose.
Just like it.
The
Everybody
only thing
got
missing is the Bible.
Footloose.
I know.
The Bible.
There are, I'll say, like,
Make a
non-profit
joyful
groups.
noise
Yeah.
unto
That
the
can be
Lord.
churches, that can be
Yeah.
organizations,
Well, that-
kids,
yeah.
anybody can do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But they have to, you know, be those volunteers that are doing it for the good of the
Yeah.
children. But when it's a for-profit, it changes the whole situation generally, because those people don't really have authority over the people in or around the establishment. And that's where the issues are.
No, I can see that for sure. Okay, any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, I would go so far as to actually not only keep these, but make them even more stringent, to be honest. Like one security guard for 100 kids? Are you kidding me?
Well, you know what? We're gonna deputize Councilor Gill, and she's gonna have to be an MEO that's gonna have to go at midnight
The teenage dance
down
video.
to the teenage dance hall.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
arrest the youth of Warner.
I could forget the 18 vote.
Sheriff, yeah. You are gonna be the real buzzkill, you are. Oh, my goodness.
I know,
Okay.
and I was the worst offender when I was that age.
Let's vote on it and get this done. So, those in favor of repealing, say aye.
Aye.
No, aye. Nay?
Nay.
Nay.
Perfect. Failed. Failed. Footloose it is.
Not fancy free.
No, yeah. Okay. Kick out the
We gotta go to
Sunday
the other side of the track.
shoes. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Oh,
Just watch
my.
now. Pasadena's gonna pass a new, like, teenage dance halls
Mr.
everywhere.
And Julie,
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
with all due,
Cross out the passage.
with all due respect, your children are not of teenage years
Mine
yet.
is close. She's going on 40. She's 12. Okay. And moving right along, and we got another interesting one here, Councillor Gill, our vote by mail for the 2025 elections.
Thank you. Yes, this is interesting. So, as per background, the City of Corner Brook currently has regulations in place that permit the use of vote by mail for municipal elections. However, there are some concerns regarding the vote by mail process, considering the current potential for a strike from Canada Post, by Canada Post. In the scenario that Canada Post does in fact strike during the municipal election, there could be additional costs and complications to facilitating vote by mail delivery. For example, we could have to pay for kits that cannot be distributed and have to communicate to residents that they need to proceed with voting using another method, or the city could incur additional costs associated with arranging courier services to ensure that residents who register for a vote by mail kit receive one. There is a potential for additional barriers as well with regards to the city receiving completed return ballots from residents if they cannot mail them. Residents would be required to drop off their completed ballot to a drop box at City Hall. Therefore, in order to proceed with vote by mail, there would need to be contingency plans in place to ensure that residents can take advantage of the vote by mail option in the case of a Canada Post strike coinciding with the municipal election. If council wishes to proceed with vote by mail and Canada Post does not strike during the municipal election, then the process would remain the same as it was in the 2021 municipal election. If council does not approve, proceeding with a vote by mail process in the 2025 municipal election, a subsequent notice of motion should be made with the intent to rescind the current City of Corner Brook municipal election vote by mail regulations attached. The election would then proceed with in-person advance polls and vote by proxy as the options for voters. Be it resolved, pursuant to Section 54(2) of the Municipal Elections Act, to authorize a vote by mail process for the 2020-25 municipal general election, in addition to in-person, proxy, and advance poll voting options. Authorize a vote by mail, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
When are we going to start doing electronic voting? And that would totally like wipe
That's
this
not
out.
even a glint in the province's eyes right now, so forget about it. Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, just a question on the last election, how many ballots were received by mail?
Yep.
Is it a significant number? I mean, cost, I think we're saying we're looking at $12,000. I don't know if that was the cost the last time. But, is it worth the trouble, the hassle, and expense?
Yep.
Especially if we have a strike.
Clerk, do you have some information for us?
In 2021, we had 483 vote by mail ballots received.
Yeah, what did you say again?
483.
483.
Out of how many were cast?
We had in person.
10%.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, wasn't the reason this was brought in was because of COVID?
The clerk can answer. I think that was part of it for sure.
Yes, that was part of it. In the 2021 election, we were.
Yes.
So without vote by mail, we have in-person, we have advance polls, we have proxy. Those are the three options, right? We don't have electronic, like you said. And, I don't see why we would bother with the vote by mail, especially with the impending potential of a strike, which would then still leave those other options as the only options available. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, there are a bunch of options. There is another complication, I think, too, and I don't know if the clerk mentioned this, but the dates are different too. So we're not going to the polls on the Tuesday, it's going on a Thursday, is it, the 2nd of October now?
Yes, it's been
Because of
changed.
Truth and Reconciliation Day. So there's it's an additional little wrinkle to how the vote is going to work. It's going to affect the timelines, obviously.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
with regard to advance poll, is there more advance polls now? We have more time on this?
Clerk, can you tell us what do we have for advance polls now?
We had 2 advance polls last time. We would probably go for 2 advance polls this time as well. That's approved by council, so that motion would have to come forward to set those dates. It does have to be within 14 days prior to the date of the election.
And just to be clear, I guess, I think we only get a handful of proxy votes, right? Like,
Yeah, we have very few proxy votes. I'm going to say a couple dozen tops.
okay, a couple dozen. Okay.
So,
Just,
Mr. Mayor, people will still have the 3 options of proxy, advanced, or in person. To advance poll, but 2 days for that.
that's right.
So they have 3 days to vote in person,
Yep.
and then they could, if they couldn't get out of the house town, whatever, get a proxy. Do we, Mr. Mayor, still do a mobile poll in seniors' homes?
Yes.
Yes, we
So
do.
they would be looked after, and anybody who couldn't get out?
Yeah.
Council chairs.
Yeah, we go to the,
Yeah. We set up mobile polls just on election day. That would be.
Mr. Mayor, I would say that, in my opinion, I would not go the vote by mail system at all. It was brought in partially, I guess, for a particular reason, that was around COVID. And given the complications that we would potentially face with a potential strike, it's going to complicate the lives of everybody involved in running a fair, free election. And I would avoid the complications of this one.
okay, thank you. Comments, questions on this?
Yeah, just one comment,
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, and again, I agree with Councilor Bender that anyone who casts a ballot wants to make sure that that ballot is counted, as we've seen in the previous federal election. And by having a mail-in ballot with a potential threat of a Canada Post strike, will eliminate or put pressure on anyone that wants to vote by Canada Post, and then all of a sudden their vote won't make it back to the ballot box to be actually counted. So I would agree that we should eliminate, for this election anyway, the mail-in ballot.
Okay, thank you. Other questions, comments? Okay, and just to be clear though, while there is a cost associated with there is still going to be a cost associated with the software and the voter registration, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, any other questions? Well, let's vote on it. All those in favor of voting by mail, say aye. Okay, counterminded?
Nay?
Nay. So, okay, so we're not going to do vote by mail, so I invite someone to make a notice of motion to repeal the current regulation. So, who wants to make it? Want to make it?
It's
So-
just a notice of motion.
Notice, sorry, it's a notice of motion. You're going to make
Notice
notice of
of motion.
motion?
Okay.
Okay, you don't need to second that.
No, we'll come up the next meeting.
Will come. So, okay, there's a notice of motion to repeal the vote by mail regulations, which will come to the next meeting. Okay, perfect. Thank you all very much. Time to get out and enjoy a couple more hours of sunlight, or maybe not a couple.
Before we go,
Yep.
in the news this evening, noticed that one of our colleagues in the town of Wabana passed away.
Oh.
Former mayor.
Gary Design.
Yes.
Oh, did
Oh.
Just saw that on the news before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, pass on to his family and friends, of course, our condolences. Yeah, Gary's been around for
Been around for a
a
long
long
time.
time.
Wow, yeah.
Mr. Mayor, maybe we can send something on behalf of Steve.
Yeah.
on behalf of Councilor.
Okay, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
my.
I saw that too. I think he didn't campaign and he still won.
Oh, yeah.
He was sick and he still won.
He was a
Yeah.
fixture.
Right.
Well, he's the only mayor most people would know.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, with that, meeting adjourned. Oh, we do have an